down there for our start of our Falmouth trip, and I nearly overslept. My phone went dead in the night, so I'm knackered. I'm not sure I've got everything I need. 25 knots on the nose, Josh. We just left, and the first repair is underway. Then absolutely disgusting. What do you make of that, Josh?
It's just fetid. Absolutely fetid.
Flies, blue bottles, disgusting. Half of them are dead, half of them are walking around like zombies. Honestly.
It's like something out of a horror movie.
We've been going for 4 hours, though. We've only reached the Needles. Blown an absolute hoolie the day we decided to leave. Slight to moderate, he said. Sea condition, didn't he?
Yeah, slight
to moderate. We've abandoned it. We skip it.
Well, he was thrown up. I mean,
first time I've ever thrown up in bad weather. That were the worst seas I've been in for years.
Slight to moderate.
Even Josh, I've never known him.
I started getting a little peaky and I had to leave.
I've never known Josh sick. I've never known him yearn for a rescue port.
I just wanted someone to unplug the weather, just to turn it off.
So we've ended up anchored in Portland. That's a lovely Anchorage. We've had some lovely food and wine.
We have.
Well done, Skip.
Well done all.
Hopefully the weather will ease tomorrow and we'll finish the Dartmouth. 100 ml of water going into this special coffee so that it can bloom in coffee. And then what happens?
Then after 30 seconds, it should have bloomed. The coffee grounds will have absorbed the water that they will absorb, and then you can start filtering it through.
Okay.
By the way,
and we got these chocolates to go with it.
yeah, show them the little box and the thing.
Artisan coffees.
Not sponsored, but they could be.
Chocolates and coffees matched. Good for a morning, I say. By the way,
Oh,
we're going to have a little chat.
yeah.
Dave nearly always puts me in the aft cabin. It's quite substantial and spacious, so I'm very gracious that he puts me in the aft cabin. But this time he said, Dave, I think if you're happy, would you mind going in the forepeak? I said, yeah, I'm happy wherever I go. It came to light what the reason was as the evening arrived, because I went in there and it's forepeak leaks through the anchor locker, and so my pillows soaking wet, sleeping bag soaking wet. I'd taken my clothes out and I'd put them along the shelf. Rainwater ran along the shelf. Clothes.
He does
soaking
complain.
wet.
Moan.
So tired, Dave. Oh, so tired.
Falmouth, he says.
Skipper gets us in on the first night. He gets us to Portland in the awful hours of the morning. I don't know what time it was. Black.
It was hideous. I give him the entire forepeak to himself, clear it of all ship's equipment, which is now stowed floor to ceiling in my cabin. I can barely get to my pillow, and all he does is whinge and whine about it. I'll show you his cabin later. I'll give you a tour.
Basically, in any sea, the water comes straight through his anchor well onto my bed, onto my clothes, onto my sleeping bag, wet pillows, wet feet.
By the way,
I wake up like a wrinkled old man who's been in a bath for a week.
You remember he serviced my engine very kindly. Well, he obviously didn't tighten up one of the screws properly. The bilge in the engine compartment was covered in diesel fuel, like rolling in it. So now I have to have incontinence pads every time he does my engine service to mop up all the leaking oil, but worse, the leaking diesel fuel. Awful.
Nothing to do with the service, honestly.
What do you mean? Well, it didn't happen before, did it?
No, but
Ever?
The fact that
no, it wasn't doing it before. Was it?
The fact that your pipes have corroded.
It's rubber. It doesn't corrode.
it's your rubber pipes. After 30 years of bad maintenance, finally gave up the ghost. That's what it was. What are we doing then?
Well, as is often the case, a few things have gone wrong on this trip, so we're having to pop to the Chandlers to get some supplies. What supplies are we getting, David?
Fuel filter, what do you call that thing? Strap and wrap thing.
Going in there?
Yeah, just give you time to get your footage.
This is supposed to be a skillful approach. There's my boys. Oh, come on, Skipper. Where's he going? Where's he going? What is he doing? He's supposed to be demonstrating our capabilities in these hats. You're not worthy of that hat.
So we're at the end of day 2, and Dave Betts was given 2 jobs. One was to bring a casserole, so that on the long legs of the trip we've got ready food. The other one was to book a restaurant. He didn't bring a casserole, he brought raw chicken. And day 1 he was so sick he literally laid down below for 12 hours plus, only emerging when we putted into Weymouth Bay. Day 2, or day 2.5, you might wonder why we're all on our own in the back of this little restaurant. And the reason is he booked a really lovely tapas restaurant. We've all been really excited about it. Only there was blank faces when we're in the line waiting to get our reservation confirmed. Only to discover there is no rebettes for today. There is a rebettes with a table for 3, 1 week later on the 19th of September. So they've stuck us in this little back room as a favour so he doesn't lose too many points. So what we've got is bricks and crab, crispy tapioca. Look at that, crispy tapioca. Microherb red fennel and green apple and red apple puree.
Very nice eating place at Dizumdee, do you remember? So the normal route is that you loop all the way around, and we're going to anchor over there. You can, at high tide, cut across.
There was a 0.2 there, and
Was
a
there?
0.6 right now. Look.
Okay, so you can see why we can't go straight over here. Look, and it's a loop round. Right over there we're going. Well, that's not going to feed too many meals tonight, but nevertheless, it is a fish.
Could you just briefly explain what is about to be shown to the...
He's taking a course.
What am I about to do then? Okay, guess what I'm about to do?
Feet.
Look,
Chiropody.
this here
He's
for
a chiropodist, guys. New career. He's wanted to learn chiropody. I said, well, while Josh is here, you can try it on my foot.
I'm not doing that. This is service. Sandpaper. Dave, would you sandpaper my shoes? He said. Stop me slipping around. Yeah, Dave, I said. Dave's main sail was rattling around a bit. So I said to him, well, let's just stick a preventer on. And I'm not sure he knew what I meant by preventer. So he's just taken a line forward. And he's delighted, he's amazed. He said, show them that on video, Dave. Show them that on video, he said. Like it's something new.
Just stop it. Our punters keep saying, give us more sailing. Well, we very rarely get the wind. This is as near to sailing as we get. I think it's really important.
Yeah, and Dave's very excited about that. So it's good for him to get excited now and then. is the village of, what's that village on the?
St. Maurs.
St. Maurs, that's it. Opening up there. So we've arrived in Falmouth. It's Falmouth and foul weather, I'm afraid. The sun's disappeared. But we're see the entrance behind me, and we're heading up to an Anchorage. And as soon as the rain comes in, the boys leave me on my own, so I've been deserted here. They've gone down below and they said, call me with 3 minutes to spare when we need to drop the anchor, and we'll come and do that for you. But other than that, they're staying down in the dry. Well, there's 3 anchorages that we've selected for the next few days, and there's a pub that we're going to visit, which we'll report back on in maybe tomorrow night. Lovely spot. What's the name of that house, Dave?
Say again?
What's the name of that house?
I think it's Trelisic.
Trelisic House. You see in the distance there. Nice little anchorage.
Joel would have loved today.
He would have.
Yeah,
So,
to Joel.
To Joel.
To a westward journey. To dolphins.
To dolphins.
Dolphins.
And,
What are you doing, Dave?
pardon?
What are you doing?
Well, because the crew don't clean out the main cabin, I have to do everything, cook and clear the main cabin. On the way, carrying pillows through to the storage room, which, surprise, surprise, is my aft stakes from the thwart ships, covered in stuff like some second-hand jumble stuff.
So just get to the point, what did you do? Who knocked?
We knocked a whole full 1.5 litre jug of scrambled egg already made.
Mixture, not
Mixture.
cooked.
And this is what protects my cherry worktop, and it was just covered in scrambled egg, so we've had to wash it. Of course, I called Dave, you'll have to do something here, do whatever you can. 3 minutes later, he's actually clocked what's happened and
sort your mess out. Hang on a minute, I got to talk to Josh to confirm this story. Josh, apparently this egg nonsense was all your fault because you left your sleeping bag in the...
Is that really where he's going with that?
100%. I've just discovered that he broke the eggs were stored in his bedroom, and he broke 3 eggs in the night. And then another 9 eggs went on the floor. That's 12 eggs, and we haven't eaten an egg yet. We went with Tom Cunliffe once to do some astral navigation. So there was me, Dave, and Tom, and he was teaching us how to use a sextant, and we all plotted our noonday fix. Dave was the closest. He beat me by a quarter of a mile or something. He was pretty close, not bang on. And then I was a quarter of a mile away from him. Tom Cunliffe was about 10 miles out.
I actually found that day profoundly moving. I can't explain why. Possibly the connection with millennia of years, obviously. People who plotted courses using the sun and the stars, and there was a moment with the sextant, if you've never done it, just take a lesson and do it, where you bring the sun down and you have to get it skipping along the horizon, is the term used. Just doing that, the experience of that was, I found, profoundly moving.
You get the sense of the sphere, don't you, that we're on?
Yeah.
So we've got the car ferry, and then just before the car ferry there is a little walk ashore pontoon, and according to the chart there's a freshwater tap on that pontoon, so we're going to drop onto it and see if we can pick up some water. So this pontoon is for visitors to Trelisic House. Oh, Trelisic House, I can't remember what it is. And I'm not sure we're supposed to be here, but there is a freshwater point, and it says berthing for watering only, so I presume we're allowed to just stop in here as long as the ferry's not due to arrive, which we can't see. These people are waiting for the ferry, so I think it will be here shortly. Bit disappointing inside such a beautiful river, that. So this is Cowlands Creek, Dee.
Beautiful, eh?
Really quite special, isn't it?
We're going up or left?
Cowlands Creek is straight on.
Yeah. This is the one to our port.
That's Falmouth Creek down there.
Another 2 set up here. Look.
8 cormorants we got here, at least 10 now.
Is that a visitor's buoy there? These ones?
So that's the Heron pub up there, the Heron Inn. The Heron Inn, isn't it?
Yeah, judgment to be made on the food, but the menu looks good.
Pretty stunning view, isn't it?
It really is. So, firstly, Lee Shaw's and Lazy Jack's, this is going to be the best lunch stop. We're actually having dinner here. As he said, it's called the Heron. A place called Malpass. Beautiful, beautiful place. He's been yawning and his mouth is fairly cavernous when it happens, but I think it's because you've had some unexpected additional exercise today, haven't you? No, come on.
I did some paddle boarding.
Yes.
So what do you think? I did miles and miles of paddle
Well, I
boarding.
don't know how many miles you did,
I
but
did a lot of miles against the tide, most of it.
yeah. But you fell off twice, didn't you? Right close to the boat. Got your ears full of water. Yeah, we do. Why did you fall off twice? Was it because Josh said, look how well he's doing, and you got a bit cocky?
No, I was trying to initiate a spin turn where you step on the back of it. I've never done it before.
Clearly,
I've
yeah.
been told that it's possible, but I haven't mastered it yet.
Josh, do you have any comments?
Well, he did go in twice in very short succession, one of which he didn't even have the paddle for. So
I know, it's poor, wasn't it?
There was
I fell in once. I fell in once,
Yeah.
and then I climbed back on, and I fell straight back over again. It was one event.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it was quite at least a minute or two.
What a lovely morning to leave Falmouth. Beautiful. Skipper nearly got us in trouble last night. He anchored with 4.4 of a metre to spare under the keel, but didn't allow for the swing, so he woke up.
Excuse me, he's lying. He was on the deck checking where we were laying the anchor. That was his responsibility. I just called out the depths.
No, Monsieur had the chart plotter with him.
Chart plot. Could you
Anyway,
show them? No, show them the filthy state you've left my foredeck in. Josh makes the point quite fairly this morning. He's raised and lowered the anchor 5 times by hand, pristine. Dave raises it once using my winch. Look at it. It's a disgrace.
He says it was a disgrace, but it's totally deliberate, and I just like fouling his boat up.